Hey, what's up, Internet? It's your homegirl. Hey, Nikki G. Well, sort of. I'm currently presented here as your couch potato queen because, well, I've been wanting to film videos lately, but I don't actually have a way to kind of film myself. So I figured if I do like these little doodles and stuff like that, then technically it will still count because I've been currently reading a lot of good books lately, and I kind of wanted to talk about them and do wrap ups and stuff like that. So hopefully this will suffice. Unfortunately, you can't see my potato face except for this cute potato animation I made. I randomly saw this at the store one day. I thought it was really cute because of the potato sitting on like a kid's sofa chair, and so I'm like, that's definitely me because I've been feeling like such a potato lately. So I wanted to do a kind of like a wrap up of books that I currently read because I had a great reading week last week. So I kind of wanted just to get into it. Let me know what you think about it, and hopefully I'll stay around a little longer because it's been a really long time since I filmed a video or voiced over a video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into the video. Okay, so first book up is Whisper the Lane by Clay Chapman. I was really excited for this book, but it was kind of a disappointment. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I would have given it a 2, but I'm going to get into that a little later. So this really intrigued me because the whole premise of it was during the 80s satanic panic. So I don't know if this is like an American thing or a worldwide thing, but back in the day, basically people were saying like their kids were basically being influenced by the devil, and it was like this crazy panic. So like they would burn stuff, like everything from cartoons to music. There's always some form of like satanic worship, so kids can worship the devil. It's kind of crazy. But it's the 80s, so it's kind of cray-cray, latchy kids, it was like a different era then. Also, the fact that it's kind of creepy because if you see like the cover, the kids are around like a pentagram, so I was really interested. I know they say do not judge a book by its cover, but come on, it looks really cool just to see what it was about. So the thing about this book is it follows two characters. The first one is set in the 80s. His name is Sean. He is like 5-year-old kid. And the other person that you follow is in 2013 or somewhere in the 2010s, essentially. His name is Richard, and he's an elementary school teacher, and it kind of goes back and forth between the two, and they kind of interlock together because what's currently happening to the kid is what's happening to the teacher. The only difference is the kid is the victim and the teacher is the one being blamed for satanic worship. And so it's kind of crazy because I wasn't expecting where it was going. I do warn that this has a lot of trigger warning because it is depicting satanic stuff in it. Most of the satanic stuff involves child abuse, which is usually like sexual abuse. I was not really a big fan of those scenes. Granted, I'm really happy it did not go into detail because most of the things when they talk about, they were from a kid's point of view, so it wasn't so like what's the word, so graphic because it's a kid and you're getting a kid's point of view of what he thinks is happening to him, so it's kind of crazy. The reason why I gave this a 3 instead of 2 is because the ending kind of surprised me because it was kind of obvious how it's going to end, but there was like 2 things that I was kind of like where are you going to take this kind of stuff, and then it just surprised me. It full on surprised me. I was not expecting it. It was kind of like a happy kind of ending. But everything kind of made sense in the end, and I kind of felt a little dumb because I'm like, oh my gosh, you got me. So if you end up reading this book or you have read the book, let me know because I know a lot of people have DNF'd it on Goodreads, and I'm kind of curious what other people think. Okay, next book. Okay, so the next one is not technically a book. It's a manga. It is Spy Family or Spy X Family. I'm not quite sure how you would pronounce that. I'm not even going to try the last name just because it's I just don't want to butcher it. So I'm sorry. This one doesn't really need an introduction. I've been told that this is really popular, and I'm kind of highly enjoyed it because it is book 5. Just in case you don't know what this is, it's basically a spy who needs to have like a fake family. Well, not a fake family, more like a pretend family, because they actually do believe they're a family. So you follow Twilight, who is like sort of like a James Bond kind of person, but he's like more awesome at it just because he's really good at like disguises and things like that. So his new mission is that he has to get close to this dictator general person, but the only way to do that is to basically have a family. So he ends up adopting this little girl who turns out to have like psychic powers, and then a mother who basically he doesn't realize is an assassin. Not really spoilers, I hope not, because it is in book 1 and it's kind of just introducing like this wacky family. They do end up getting a dog. That one I'm not going to go into detail with because that is in book 4. Highly recommend. I do like the doggo. I can't wait to see where they go with this. But book 5 revolves around a brother. I'm not going to say whose brother. You just have to find out because no spoilers. Because once again, this is book 5 in the series, and I kind of have to wait a little bit for the next one to come out since I don't think it's been translated yet, or they probably haven't written it yet. But anyways, I'm kind of excited. It'll be kind of cool to see if they do make an anime out of this. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book was one of those books that BookTube/BookTok kind of made me read because I was kind of really intrigued by the premise of it, because you kind of follow Addie LaRue. She needs help, so she ends up praying to I guess a deity or a god or something like that, and she kind of wants to be saved from a situation, and then the deal kind of goes sideways because she ends up living forever, but the catch is that no one will ever remember her. So she tries really hard to basically leave her mark on the world, because there's loopholes in being forgotten. But yeah, I'm not going to go into detail. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I highly enjoyed this book. It's not really going to be a book that I reread, so that's why I gave it a 4 instead of a 5. Mostly when I give books 5 stars, it means that I'm going to reread this because I enjoyed them so much that they are going to end up on my bookshelves. So I'm kind of sorry to say that unfortunately this one would not be on my bookshelf. I did like it. I was kind of intrigued because I've read V. Schwab's books before, and this one was totally different. But the things I enjoyed most was Luke and Henry. Luke is sort of the bad boy, Henry is the good guy, and I don't know what it was, but I enjoyed the 2 different personality types. I'm not going to go into more detail than that just because it's big spoilers, and I'm trying not to do spoilers. So if you read this book, let me know what you thought. Please, no spoilers, because I know this is like a really high read for a lot of people, so I'm kind of curious to know what other people's thought. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, last book but not least, Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This book was my high anticipated read for 2021, and this book blew me out of the water. Like literally, it was really great. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. That's how much I enjoyed it. It's just Riley Sager. I enjoy his writing. Some of his books are hit and miss with me, but this one was just perfection for me because I just enjoyed it. So for those of you who do not know what this book is about, it is set in the 90s. This straight off the bat should give you anxiety because it is a horror book, and in the 90s there's no real good way to actually call for help. So you meet Charlie. She is deciding to go home a little early. It is Thanksgiving weekend. Instead of waiting for her boyfriend to take her back to her place 2 states away, she decides to do a rideshare kind of thing. And remember, this is the 90s, so it's not Uber. So it's just like this random guy is taking her basically 2 states over. And it's really, really terrifying because she tells you off the bat that she's not really a reliable narrator, since she actually plays out movies in her head, so you kind of don't know what's real or what's made up from her, because this is how she deals with anxiety and her depression and everything. She just makes it movie like, and also the fact that she is like going to school for movies, so that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it a lot also because I had a lot of movie references. I don't actually consider myself like a movie buff or anything like that, but I do enjoy watching movies. I like understanding like cool little trivias about movies. There's a lot like what's it called, like nonsense trivia that I have in my head about movies. And also the other thing that I really liked the movie, not the movie, it plays out like a movie because it's all in her head, or is it? The other thing that I really enjoyed about this book is because it has classic slasher vibes. So I want you to think like Friday the 13th, The Hitchhiker, that kind of vibes. It was just a fun roller coaster trying to decide if she's all making up in her head or is it really happening. It was a good time, especially for Halloween, because it is that spooky season again, and I just love horror books. So if you read this, let me know what you thought. I do know some people did not enjoy this, but I think that's mostly because the way it was written. Because well, we have like a non-reliable narrator. So yeah, so tell me your thoughts and your opinions, and yeah. Okay, so that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this different kind of video from me. I mean, it's been almost like 3 years, so I hope there's someone watching this. So yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. Laters.